I'm now going to call upon Susan, who is going to tell you her thoughts and her feelings, etc., of what she feels and what she felt when she looked after my husband, Zecher Livrocha, during the 2 years that she looked after him. Susan. I'll sit on your leg. Are you going to?
Good evening. Good evening, ladies. Thank you, Robertson. And thank you, ladies, for taking your time to come and hear what I have to say. Reflect, rather.
Loud.
Okay. I've been told to speak loud. I was told 5-6 times today. Okay. So thank you very much for taking your time to come and hear me speak about the Dayan, rather reflect on the journey that we had with the Dayan as a care team. And I'll also speak from a personal point of view of what I experienced during the past 2.5 years, 2+ years with the Dayan. It's almost getting to a half soon. At first I thought, let me talk from the heart, but I'm a person who talks too much. And the rabbits, when I told the rabbits, I said, maybe I should write it. And I only decided last night that I should write and break it into points. So I'll be reading my speech so that I can keep it as short as possible. Otherwise, I can go on. We'll be here for 2+ years listening to my speech. Okay. The Dayan was discharged home when he was critically ill after experiencing 3 strokes and with a prognosis of 3 months. So those that don't know what a prognosis is, he was given time to live just for 3 months while he was discharged from hospital. This room that the Dayan was in was set up as an intensive care when I walked into this house. With the help of God, staff, family, and the community, he managed to live 2+ years. Thank you all. Thank you so much. When I was asked by the Robertson to speak on what I learned and experienced while supporting the Dayan, I went numb. Numb because I saw myself not worthy to speak about such a great man. Yes, he was a great man. How many of us here are able to find our voice through silence? Show love through our eyes, and above all this, smile at all times whilst experiencing disability. Perseverance was the Dayan. Sorry. It wasn't easy at all. I walked into the Eritrea's residence 2+ years ago. What I've experienced in these 4 walls is prayer, love, and respect. This, I say, continues to be repeated on a daily basis. The Dayan found koyak, strength. Yes, I've learned a lot. Strength to complete his prayers 3 times a day, no matter how well or unwell he felt. He would look at his watch, point at the cedar, while saying his prayers. There's a part when he was quite well, he started lifting his hand up and down, up and down. I observed this on 4 occasions because he used to pray with the Robertson every morning, until I asked the Robertson, I said, every time the Dayan prays, there's a part he gets to, and he emphasizes. What is it all about? What is he saying? And the Robertson responded to me and said, he's praying to get better. Through prayer, I believe that Dayan found the strength for the will to live. The love mostly that Dayan had for his wife was immeasurable. Every morning, he would look forward to his wife walking through the doors. Vice versa, the Robertson would wake up, open her door, and shout, "Susan, how's my hubby?" The moment the Robertson would walk into the Dayan's room, his face would just lit up. The Dayan would decline to be transferred back to bed each time the Robertson went out in the evening for functions. He would wait, point at the door, look at his watch. "Where is she?" We had to reassure him several times she will be back. Only when the Robertson walked in, briefed the Dayan about the function, would the Dayan want to go back to bed. Immediately after, he would request to go to bed. On a lighter note, the Dayan always loved the Robertson to look well presented. Dressing, are the buttons done? She would walk in, would point. Are the buttons done? Is the shito in place? The shito was a problem in this house. The shito was a problem. And I hope played this. I've learned a lot. The shito was a problem in this house. I think 3 or 4 times in a week. Is it okay? Is it okay? That's no crumbs on her face. I can go on with the list. In short, the Dayan was a perfectionist. Like the Robertsons would say, he's the best. And she kept on emphasizing, you are the best. He's the best. The love and bond between the family is amazing. I'm lucky to continue experiencing this every day. As for the care team, we are yet to get over the way the children called Mommy, Daddy, and I was like, okay, we're in the Robertson's house. And the Dayan, Mommy, Daddy. This is done with so much passion and love. To Ricky and the Robertson, the 2 people who worked closely with us, I'm not sure where you get your strength from. Ricky would always come through the door almost every day after prayers to check on the Dayan and the Robertson. Should go to either the pharmacy or Dr. Adler's at least 3 times a day. She never asked us to plan better. If not, she would ask, do you have anything else that you need? Is everything okay? The family allowed us to lead when it came to supporting the Dayan from a nursing perspective. I have personally supported families that make it difficult for you to nurse or care to provide the best care you can to a client due to interference. Usually, it's the daughters. They interfere so much that by the end of the day, you are so drained, you cannot give all you have. Ricky, you're a lifesaver, 24/7. Thank you, you are amazing. Robertson and Ricky, thank you so much for trusting us. This made our job easy and for us to give the highest, and when I say the highest, level of care to the Dayan he so deserved. I've been a carer for 18 years in England. This was the highest care I've ever given to a client, mainly because family did not interfere. They respected us, they trusted us. I also mentioned that I've noticed the bond between mother and daughter. It made it so easy for us. Whatever I would tell Ricky, we knew it would get whatever twisted in a way through the Robertson. So from that, we took advantage of. The Dayan loved his children, was fond of his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. All the times, his face would lit up. Not only did the Dayan's face lighten up to family, the children that visited the Dayan were special. The Dayan adored them. To the community, what can I say? Thank you so much. You made our job easier by visiting the Dayan. The Dayan looked forward to each and every visit. As we all know, the Dayan sat directly opposite the main entrance. Before the visitor would get to the Dayan, he would want to know whom it was. I can testify, and I will continue to testify, that not a day did I see him not smile, welcome the visitors through a thumbs up. I have observed respect through the adults and the young. Rabbi Duna, it all amazed us coming from our background. The respect he had for the Dayan as a son-in-law. Every Shabbos night, Rabbi Duna would always seek permission from the Dayan to make Kiddush. In Rabbi Duna's words, Daddy, can I make Kiddush? We're like, oh my goodness. If it's where we're coming from, someone just gets on with it. If the Dayan would not give him the thumbs up, he would not start. As I mentioned earlier, the Dayan found his voice through his silence. He would tap on the table during Friday meal, asking Rabbi Duna, go along, sing, pray, until they finished the dinner. What I'm saying is, I learned respect, both from the Dayan and his son-in-law. The Dayan respected everyone. I observed through respect the community keeping up the Dayan to date with what was going on in the Jewish world. I observed how families would inform the Dayan of upcoming bar mitzvahs, weddings, newly born babies, bris for the boy, and kiddush for the girls. With the last one thing, we had the pearls bris in this house. And lately, we also had the blooms had a ceremony. This was all done through respect. I cannot forget how all the good news came with a brocha from the Dayan. These are such special moments to me, and I will never forget. Through the journey, we experienced support as a care team from Moisha and Lizzie Morris. The first time the care team met Moisha Morris, he was firm. What I'm about to say is true. It's what we experienced. He walked in, greeted the Dayan, called for us, and said, ladies, the Dayan is the boss. Not me, not anyone else. What the Dayan wants, we will aim to give him. He did not go back on his word. This made our work so easy. Thank you so much for adapting the flat on such short notice so as to meet our needs. We are forever grateful and indebted to you, Lizzie and Moisha. David Landau, he gave the Dayan so much inspiration. The relationship between the two was amazing. The Dayan loved learning. He would look at his watch towards 6 p.m., point at the Gomorrah, and would start learning before David came in. On one occasion, I witnessed the Dayan giving David a hard time. He had stopped, and the Dayan kept wanting more from him. That's how intelligent the Dayan was. He would follow word for word. When I tried to look at that Gomorrah to me, I said, I would never. This is difficult. I don't understand it, but it just looks too difficult. So David had to be well prepared at all times. Alan Nevers and the Goldbergs, thank you so much for supporting the Dayan each morning with tefillin. For 9+ months, Alan Nevers came in every morning, excluding Shabbat. I have to emphasize that normally Alan would come in at 10 to 7, and the Dayan would be ready, waiting. He also had the kayak for the tefillin, no matter how early it was. Once the Dayan got better, the first thing he did was raise his hand. So we all, in the mornings would raise his hand, and this is where it came. is the tefilling. Once he started the tefilling with Alan Neves, he stopped raising his hand. What did I learn from Dayan and Alan? Dedication, perseverance, and pure belief in God. I can also share that on one day, the Dayan had an IV fluids, the drip, on his left hand. Alan walked in, the Dayan smiled. I guess Alan, being of medical background, he then suggested to the Dayan, I think today we'll use the right arm. The Dayan declined. He declined. This is how much we observed that the religion was embedded in the Dayan. Karine Morris, thank you so much to you and your family for feeding us. We never ran out of food at any time. We are forever grateful. The Seagull Boys and the Blues. Thank you so much for visiting the Dayan on adult visits, and always willing to help. Always willing to help. I even took advantage at times when I was tired and asked them to do what I was meant to be doing. They never complained. For the Seagull, for the Seagull Boys, thank you so much for singing to the Dayan. It meant so much to the Dayan. And the Rebbetzin. On days when the Dayan was not up to it, the Seagull Boys never gave up. They kept coming. What have I learned from this? Once again, perseverance. To the ladies that continue to visit the Rebbetzin, please do not stop. You are all amazing. To the crucial ladies, the walkers, I feel sorry for you. I feel so sorry for you. I try to discourage the Rebbetzin when it's raining. But it's off you go singing in the rain. David Rosenberg, thank you so much for the iPad. He bought the iPad for the Dayan. Through the iPad, the Dayan managed to advance and continue with his Torah learning. David Monheit and Avromi Feld, thank you so much for the stand, which made it easier to support the Cedar, Gomorrah, and the iPad. This made our job quite easy. We also had highlights through the illness of the Dayan. Shabbats for us ladies started on a Thursday. When I say to you that Dayan had found a voice through his silence, he knew. Shabbat started with a shower, a thorough shower for the Dayan, and you'd get 2 thumbs up. Friday, you had to be prompt, punctual for Shabbat. The Dayan would not sleep because would start in the morning telling him that it's Friday today, Shabbat. I think, Robertson, that was a big mistake. We should have said it later during the day because the Dayan's highlight was Shabbat. Kept on looking at the watch. He would ask, where's my shirt? He'd keep asking until you get the shirt
And the
hat
tie.
and the tie. The shirt had to be clean. The
Starched.
Dayan wanted it starched. And if not starched, he would point. And you knew you're in trouble. You need to change and look for the clothes. And his velvet keeper. And we had to get him ready for Shabbos. If we're not ready and people had started coming, he would demand, stop everything. I want to go in. We also on Yontif, the men came and stood outside to sing for the Dayan. This reinforced the love and respect they had for the Dayan. The Stamford Hill group, headed by Mr. Glick, who came regularly, and Mr. Getner, who came a few times, the Dayan enjoyed them all. Moisha Getner and Yossi Duna, thank you so much for the late nights, Friday night singing for the Dayan. It made our job much, much easier, especially when Shabbos was long, when it became a long night. They stayed with the Dayan. I feel there's so much to learn from the Dayan, from his guidance and legacy. May Dayan's memories be blessed. May the Robertson and family and the community find Koyak through this difficult time. Before I end, as you all know, I did not work alone. I had my colleagues, the 2 nurses that left. I've managed to get them to record just on short voice notes. I hope they'll be loud enough. I tried to listen to it. The first one might not be loud enough, but I'll probably be stopping so that at least I can tell you what they're saying.
Hi, my name is Z. I'm one of the nurses who was looking after the Dayan. I was so lucky, that is what I can say, to have such a great opportunity to look after the Dayan. The few things I
Sorry, is it loud enough?
Yeah.
That's good.
learned from him, he was an intelligent man. He was a great man with a big heart. Dayan had a big heart. He had patience that you can touch. You could read love from his eyes. It was such a great opportunity. I will always be grateful that I had to look after the Dayan in the times of need. And I learned a lot from him. I've never met somebody who was so intelligent. He was very strict in a very nice way, in a very loving way. He was down to earth. He would do anything to the Dayan. He will never complain. He never complained, even when things were not easy. He had a strong body. He looked after his body well. It managed to take care of him when he was in need. And the intelligence was just amazing. He was one of those great men who ever lived. I was so grateful. I will always be grateful to have an opportunity to look after the Dayan, and so also Robertson for giving us that opportunity to look after the Dayan. I will always be grateful.
So that's Z. I think everyone knows Z, the first nurse that worked here.
Hello everyone. Just a short message. It has been a pleasure to work with the Dayan. I've looked after so many patients, but looking after the Dayan was a pleasure. I could feel their love that he was surrounded with. People coming in to see him. The Dayan was always happy to have people coming to see him, even when at times he wasn't feeling very well. He was a strong man, of which most patients at times they are not as strong. When he was not feeling well, he would still do things that you would ask him to do. And every day he was working very hard to be better. Whatever care you wanted to give him, he would let you do it, even if at times it wasn't very good or the most comfortable care, but he would still let you do it. He was a very good man. You have learned that praying is very crucial in our lives, because the Dayan was always praying all the time. For the time that I worked with him, he was praying every time. Whether he's well or not well, he would pray, pray, pray. I don't have many words to say, but the most important is that he was a pleasure to look after. He was a pleasure to look after. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are the two nurses that looked after the To sum up, like I said, if I was given the opportunity, you'll be here for 2.5 years. But I'll sum it up. You can all hear, we all have the same feelings. The Dayan was a pleasure to look after. I'll end by just saying thank you to the family. Thank you to everyone in the community, our African way. Normally, I'm going to do it with respect. Where we come from, we kneel for our elders as a sign of respect. I'm going to kneel to the Robertson and say, Robertson, thank you so much. Your husband was amazing.
It was a pleasure to know you.
Thank you. And Ricky, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.